Hi, good morning. Welcome back to A Man in the Sea of Lies. And sometimes I watch this stuff on television and listen to the radio, the various sources. And it just amazes me that we kind of buying this kind of garbage because they're doing it for a reason. This is what people want to listen to and watch. It makes me wonder: is there a way back from this nonsense? And probably, with the more federal money from the money to the media from the federal government, it's just going to continue to get worse, right? Because I guess that's part of Carney's agenda, the new governor general, and the more money to the media. And there's other stuff on the table. The recent Supreme Court ruling, Alfred versus Canada, and there's all kinds of stuff that indicates where this government is heading. It's heading for more and more political control. And in the background of all this is, of course, Carney's ties to all the Davos crowd. That's gonna be so dangerous to our sovereignty, our natural resources, and stuff like that. They're not pulling back from the green agenda. They still see the future in electrics right now. I mean, I have nothing against electric cars. The problem with electric cars is their batteries, not that the cars are electric. So until the next generation of batteries comes along, I don't see a big market share for Canadian electrics unless they're heavily subsidized by incentives. But it doesn't look like it's like they're out of money. I guess they're never out of money. But anyway, back to the media. I saw David Cochrane, CBC's David Cochrane interviewing Danielle Smith, the premier of Alberta. And this guy, he's like Scott Reed of the of CTV. He's the same kind of guy on CBC. He's just relentless. He's clearly has an agenda, and he's been trying to delegitimize the Alberta independent movement because there was some information leaks from one of the separation organizations. So he's trying to tie that all up to Danielle Smith and the whole separation movement, and he wouldn't stop. He kept peppering Danielle Smith with these idiotic questions. She answered most of them, and she was very patient. I wouldn't be so patient if it were me sitting in front of this David Cochrane guy. I mean, he's a typical journalist, the caliber of journalist that's everywhere on CBC and CTV and other networks. That brings us to Bob Reed on Jerry Agar's show later on in the morning on 1010. And he was talking about somebody else making a statement about something totally unrelated, and because he disagreed with that statement that person made, whoever that was, I can't remember now, but he accused that person of making Trump-like statements. So this is part of the vocabulary now. We have Trump-like statements. Mentioned this before. Our obsession with Donald Trump is increasing, gaining such a momentum that it's impossible, to have a conversation about anything without bringing up Donald Trump. Oh, look at me. And going back to federal government, the Royal Bank report, over $1 trillion over the last decade of investment evaporated in Canada. And even Canadian companies, businesses, and Canadian individuals invest abroad, outside the country, mostly United States. They invest at twice the rate that they invest in their own country. So this is, this is super alarming. So we have no confidence in our own economy now. We have half the confidence because business investment that is pretty much tells you the whole story, not the whole story, but tells you a lot. So we apparently have half the confidence in our economy than we have in the United States economy. So there's other reports. If you want to dig in, that's Bank of Montreal report also, the Royal Bank report, and the numbers they present are just insane to me. I don't know why we're heading in that direction at all, and doesn't seem to bother Mark Carney at all. And many observers of our federal government I don't, like Sherlock Holmes said, once you eliminate the impossible, the truth is what's left, right? I paraphrase. Anyway, but it seems, Brookfield is involved in a lot of these net zero issues that are, they're trying to. A lot of these companies are owned by Brookfield. They are continually being bought up by Brookfield. They're all these net zero kind of companies. That want to, on paper they want to, stop polluting our planet. But when you dig deeper into that, it's got nothing to do with it. It's got everything to do with money lining their pockets. And Carney's not addressing this at all. That's where I stand on it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and so long.